last shot, cause you will never faze me. No matter where I am, I'll be the same me. Everybody in the place, are you with me? Get it bumping, keep it jumping. By the look of the crowd, I think we started something. Gonna take it everywhere we go. Everybody, just keep it 100. Got my eyes on the prize, with my hands to the sky. Everybody, just keep it 100. Got my eyes on the prize, with my hands to the sky. My heart is on you, with my foot on the gas. I shout it out loud everywhere I pass. Everybody, just keep it 100 now. Keep it 100 now. Gotta keep it 100 cause he did the max for me. I gotta turn up, he never relaxed on me. Took away my pain, so at least I can do is boost up my game. The world cold, so I came with a flame. Let's heat it up, no they tryna throw water on it. Guess I gotta go harder on it. Rolling off a spirit, I know that they don't wanna hear it, but man, this history so clear it. We're steering over that narrow road. Fear has been overthrown. Check it out, that's the style. Everybody, just keep it 100. Got my eyes on the prize, with my hands to the sky. Everybody, just keep it 100. Got my eyes on the prize, with my hands to the sky. My heart is on you, with my foot on the gas. I shout it out loud everywhere I pass. Everybody, just keep it 100 now. Keep it 100 now. Everybody, target on my back, lone survivor last. They got me in the sights. No surrender, no trigger, fingers go. Living the dangerous life. Hey, 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 every day when I wake, I'm trying to get up, they're knocking me down.
Chewing me up, spitting me out.
Hey, 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 when I need to be saved, you're making me strong, you're making me stand.
Never will fall, never will hurt.
Shot like a rocket up into the sky, nothing can stop me tonight. You make me feel invincible, earthquake powerful, just like a tidal wave. You make me brave, you're my titanium, fight so raising up, like the roar of victory in a stadium. Who can touch me, cause I'm who can stop me tonight? You make me feel invincible. I feel it, invincible.
gentlemen, welcome to the 2018 Skills USA Nebraska Leadership and Skills Conference. Please welcome our state officers. He can talk for hours about anything truck related. He loves raising pigs and washing cars. The man, the myth, the Goldilocks legend, your state parliamentarian from Raymond Central High School, Duke Nelson. A lover of puns, a total dork, and a perfectionist at heart. Your state reporter, a senior from Louisville High School, Joey Gruber. She loves reading and rescuing animals in need. A short girl with a huge personality. Your state treasurer from Sterling High School, Risa Wilcox. She's a rock star runner with an affection for ice cream. With half the height as the rest, but double the spunk. She's a sophomore from Omaha Career Center, your secretary, Eleanor Dunning. A high school senior who loves Bollywood music, business, and education. He started his own business with the support of a Fortune 500 company, and now will be fulfilling his dreams of living in New York City by attending Fordham University in the fall. Your state historian from Millard North High School, the Roofs Sing. A tech enthusiast, an all-around jokester, and a kid at heart. A high school senior who in the fall will be attending Illinois Institute of Technology. From Papillion La Vista South High School, please welcome your secondary vice president, Peter Wynn. A CNC machinist who enjoys long walks on the beach and boxed grape juice. From Southeast Community College, Milford, your college technical vice president of membership, Peyton Schmidt. A diesel technology student who enjoys helping his fellow veterans and their families, who is hardworking and dedicated, who will graduate with 3 associate's degree this May, who enjoys late night walks to take in some fresh air. From Metropolitan Community College, your college technical vice president of communication, Reginald Dawson. A young man who is a fanatic for firearms, fishing, and everything that is done in the great outdoors. He loves cold mornings in the deer stand and sunny evenings on the water. A true outdoorsman at heart. A senior from Louisville High School, your state president, Ryan Campbell.
The meeting will come to order. The thought for the day will be given by the historian.
The happiness of your thoughts depends on the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius.
The emblem is symbolic of the Skills USA organization. You are about to witness the emblem ceremony, in which the meaning of each component of our emblem will be given, and the significance of the colors described. Mr. Parliamentarian.
The shield represents patriotism. The shield denotes our belief in democracy, liberty, and the American way of life. Madam Reporter.
The gears represent the industrial society. The gear, symbolic of the industrial society, denotes the interdependence and cooperation of the individual working with labor and management for the betterment of mankind. Madam Treasurer.
The torch represents knowledge. The flaming torch reflects the light of knowledge which dispels the darkness of ignorance. In the light of the torch, progress will be made toward the vocational goals of the individual. Madam Secretary.
The orbital circles represent technology. The circles represent the challenge of modern technology and the training needed to accept and master new technical frontiers and the need for continuous education. Mr. Vice President.
The hands represent the individual. The hands portray a search for knowledge and our desire to acquire a skill. In the process of attaining knowledge and skill, we will develop a respect for the dignity of work and become productive and responsible citizens. Mr. Historian.
With the affixing of the golden hands, we had the final official color of Skills USA. The colors of our emblem represent our organization. Red and white represent the individual states and chapters. Blue represents the common union of the states and chapters, and gold represents the individual, the most important element of Skills USA. Mr. President.
All of the components constitute our emblem. Separately, they could be applied to many organizations, but as one unit, they represent the fundamental principles and purposes of our organization. The emblem represents Skills USA. Please stand. We will respect the flag with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Skills USA members and advisors, welcome to the 2018 Skills USA State Leadership and Skills Conference. Also, welcome to the Heartland Event Center, as we are extremely blessed to call Grand Island home for the next few days. In the meantime, you'll be competing against students from all over the state with the hope of becoming a Nebraska state champion. I now would like to highlight some beneficial conference tools that you can use during your stay. Make sure to download our mobile guide to keep track of conference information. The information for this can be found in your conference program on page 23. Also, Skills USA Nebraska has several social media accounts that you can follow to stay up to date with Skills USA activities. Please follow our accounts on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the Skills USA Nebraska YouTube channel. Also, make sure to use the hashtag NEBSkillsUSA to share your favorite memories of the conference. We hope you have an excellent time attending this year's state conference. Be sure to compete to the best of your ability. And again, welcome to the Skills USA Nebraska State Conference. Best of luck to all of you. Enjoy Grand Island.
Mayor Jensen is a native of Grand Island. He graduated from Grand Island Senior High and attended the University of Nebraska-Lincoln with a double major in finance and economics. He has been a financial advisor since 1997, specializing in asset management, business succession planning, and personal financial planning. In addition to being a financial advisor, he has served as the head coach for Grand Island Senior High Boys varsity soccer team since 2007. He began his current term as mayor of Grand Island in December of 2014. Please welcome Mayor Jensen.
Hello, everyone. Well, as the mayor, I have the honor of saying welcome to our community. So, welcome to our community. As was stipulated, I'm also a coach, and when I get the opportunity to stand in front of young people, I want to take advantage of it. And you're going to have to bear with me because I want to tell you a really quick story, and it has to do with perseverance and upward mobility. So some of you in the crowd here are, I'm sure, juniors in high school. And so I want to go back in time to when I myself was a junior right here in Grand Island at Grand Island Senior High. And for the first time, I decided that I wanted to play football at the high school level. And I always had this weird dream about putting a white helmet on with a red N. And it seems a little weird for somebody that just goes to play football their junior year. And my senior year, we had a pretty good team, and a teammate walked in and handed me an envelope. And the envelope, we would get them frequently from small schools around the area, just seeing if anyone was interested in coming to play football for, say, for instance, Hastings College, or at the time it was UNK, Kearney State. And this one particular day, an envelope came in, and it was an envelope for me, and it was from the University of Nebraska. And this envelope, as I opened it up, it was an invitation for me to walk on and play football for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And through my elation, I didn't quite recognize what I was looking at, and one of my friends who was a full scholarship recipient from the University of Nebraska looked at me, and he said, "You idiot, that's not real." And some of my friends played a bit of a joke on me. They played a joke and put it together at the time on what was called a word processor. You guys probably don't remember what those are. But there it was, and when I was growing up, I will tell you this, my family didn't come from very wealthy means. I lived in a trailer court here in Grand Island, and I didn't have a car when I was 16. And I was dating this girl, and we were invited to a youth group event. She came and picked me up in her car, took me to this house over Christmas, and we walked into this house, and it was beautiful. It was decorated to the nines for Christmas, and there was 25 or so young people, and we went down into the basement. And I remember walking through that home saying, one day, I really would like to have a home like this for my own family. And so there I was then, we'd leave, and after my senior year, I got a phone call. And the phone call was on a Saturday morning, and my mom came in, and she woke me up. She said, "Jeremy, you've got a phone call. Come out, answer the phone." And it's a voice that I recognized really quick. And it was a guy by the name of Tom Osborne. And I formally was being invited to come and walk on for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And there it was, my dream, right there in front of me. And so I enrolled in school at the University of Nebraska in 1991. And I was on the team in 1991, 1992, 1993. And in the summer of 1994, I was out of money, literally. I had bill collectors calling me, and I had to come back home to Grand Island during the summer to work, and I worked out at New Holland here. And I made the decision that I wasn't going to have time or the ability to go back and play football, but I was going to continue my education. I just needed to work. So I voluntarily left the Nebraska Cornhusker football team in 1994. Do any of you historians out there know what happened in 1994? National championship, that's right. And there it was, all my friends on campus, all my teammates celebrating a national title. I can tell you that I was the only person in Lincoln that day cheering for the Miami Hurricanes. And so there it was, a national championship. And I had redshirted my first year, and I wasn't quite done with school, so I still would have been on the team in 1995. Does anybody know what happened in 1995? Back-to-back national championships. And so there I was. I was a young kid trying to figure out which way my life was going to go, and I had a decision to make. And the decision was I could use this as an opportunity to really go off the rails, or I could use it as motivation to do something bigger and better. And I ended up graduating. I came back here to Grand Island, and I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this because I know I've got limited time. But I came back here and got involved with my community. I have a business here. I have a family here. And about 10 years ago, I was having health problems. And they didn't know what my health problems were. And I went to see specialist after specialist, and they thought that I was suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease. And if you know anything about Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS, it makes you pause in your tracks, and you have to stop and really rethink a lot of things in your life. During my time in college, I was really good friends with a guy by the name of Brooke Behringer. And I think many of you know what happened to Brooke. And so there I was facing my own mortality. I was doing a lot of things in my mind as far as a mental checklist. Had I done everything that I wanted to do? Was I the type of father that I needed to be for my kids? My business, a lot of different things. What type of legacy was I going to leave? And after about 4 days, I did some specialized nerve conduction testing, and they found out that I didn't have ALS, but I was suffering from what was called Lyme's disease. And so after that, I made a decision with myself that I was going to make sure that I lived my life with the throttle down from there on out. People ask me why I became the mayor. I don't know, because I thought I could do it, truthfully. And so my message to you in this crowd is the idea about upward mobility. The idea that wherever you're at in your life, if you want to go somewhere else, you need to go there, because you don't know how long you got the opportunity to actually go there. I now get to serve as the mayor of my hometown. It's one heck of an honor. It's something that I'll cherish forever. And I will leave you with this when it comes to perseverance, goal setting, and achievement. Remember early in my story when I talked about going to the house over Christmas for the youth group event, the house that I was so in love with, the one that I said someday I want to have a house like this for my own family? 15 years ago, my wife and I bought that house, and it's the house that we raise our family in today. So you guys, you've got the world in front of you. It's an awesome opportunity. It's an awesome honor for me to be here in front of so many young people. You got a lot of things that you're going to go through in your life, but keep focused on the goal, do everything you can to make it happen, and being involved in this event right here is a heck of a good start. Welcome to Grand Island, home of the only place you can get 75 degrees one day and a blizzard the next. Thank you.
Mayor Jensen, thank you, and the City of Grand Island for hosting our conference. Please accept this gift as a token of our appreciation. The Grand Island Area of Commerce is a nonprofit organization seeking to unite all business, agricultural, professional, industrial, and civic interests for the purpose of developing and promoting Grand Island. Through governmental efforts, advocacy, and workforce development, the Grand Island Area Chamber of Commerce carries out its mission to improve and enhance the economic validity and the quality of life for the total community and area. Would Cindy Johnson, Grand Island Chamber President, please come forward to welcome the delegation to Grand Island.
Good afternoon, and again, welcome to Grand Island. We can't say that enough. We are so very pleased that SkillsUSA has chosen Grand Island as its home. This is your second year here. We hope you're enjoying it as much as we are, and we're looking forward to year 3, 4, 5, 6, as long as you'll have us. What an inspiring story we just heard from Mayor Jensen. Could we give him another round of applause? I have been with the Chamber of Commerce for 15 years. Prior to that, I served 12 years at City Hall as a Community Projects Director. And I will tell you that we are so very fortunate to have this man leading our community. The coaching efforts, the positivity, the insistence on professionalism within the city organization spreads out beyond the walls of City Hall and the city departments. We have all risen because of what Jeremy Jensen has brought to the table, and we will miss you next year at the SkillsUSA Convention. Jeremy, Mayor Jensen's last day will be in mid-December, as he has chosen not to run another year. On behalf of the business community, I want you to know how very important it is to us that you are here. Why? Because we're like most every other town, city in the state of Nebraska and in many parts of the country. We are looking at you as our future workforce. Now, whether you choose to become employed at one of the companies here in Grand Island, which we would love you to do, we hope you'll become familiar with some of the companies that are helping to sponsor this event and that you see as contest coordinators or judges. Become familiar with the products and services that are available in this community. And challenge yourself to ask if this progressive community who has their arms wrapped around you today, is the type of community that you would like to live, work, and raise your family in. And we hope the answer is yes. But beyond that, we also look at the whole state of Nebraska, and we know where we stand with a low unemployment rate. When unemployment is around 3%, we know that there are not tons of people out there to fill the positions that we have in our community to keep the engine running. And it is the business community with the skills and leadership that each of you, I know, possesses that make a community hum. So please consider staying in Nebraska. Please consider our fine community as you make your decision on where your future is going to be. We know some of you will be headed off to a four-year institution. There's nothing better than the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Please consider. There's nothing better than Hastings College, just 20 minutes down the road. Please consider. There's nothing better than Central Community College, just down the road from here. What I'm saying is that the college is what you make of it. Your college experience is what you put into it. It isn't anybody else's, it's you. Your college will meet you, your higher ed will meet you where you are. And if you're ready for an awesome experience, you'll get an awesome experience. If you put the work in to be successful, you'll be successful. So thank you for being here. Sponsors, educators, thank you for the work that you have done in bringing your teams here, bringing them to this point. I know some of them are excited about the opportunity to get to Kentucky. We're excited for you. I wish you the very, very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson, for all of your hard work to make our conference a total success in Grand Island. And please accept this small gift as a token of our appreciation.
Bruce Swihart is a true Nebraskan. After growing up right here in Grand Island and graduating at Grand Island Senior High, he then moved on to further his education at the University of Nebraska. Following in the family industry of horse racing, Bruce was then hired for a job at Centennial Racetrack in Denver, Colorado. However, in just 2 short years, Bruce returned to Nebraska right here in Grand Island. He continued his career in the horse racing industry here at Fauner Park. As Bruce worked his way up the Fauner Park system, he always embodied his belief in giving back to the farmers, ranchers, businessmen, and community leaders who helped build these great facilities into what they are today. Because of this, Bruce has volunteered with countless area organizations, including Central Nebraska Shrine Club, the Red Cross, and Grand Island Rotary, just to name a few. Through his dedication and knowledge, Bruce has now been named Chief Executive Officer of both Fauner Park and the Heartland Events Center, being instrumental in our conference today. So without further delay, join me in welcoming Bruce Swihart to SkillsUSA Nebraska's 2018 State Leadership Conference.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Event Center and Fauner Park, once again, welcome to all of you. Mayor Jensen, I'd heard bits and pieces of that story, but never the whole one. That was truly amazing, and I congratulate you on all of that. And I'll echo what Cindy said about having you as our mayor, and we are going to miss you. And echo all of the things, actually, that were said by Jeremy and Cindy. I had a story when I was a junior in high school, but I'm too old and I can't remember that far back anymore, so no more stories from high school. Just a brief little summary on why we're sitting here. Back in the early 50s, the businessmen and civic leaders, ag leaders of Hall County, they got together and decided they needed a place to have a home for the county fair. And so they got together, and to do that, the vehicle that they were going to do it through was live thoroughbred horse racing. And so back in '54, Fauner Park ran its first live thoroughbred race meet. And ever since then, you know, we've hosted the county fair. We've been a community facility for many events to take place in Grand Island. Through the years, this facility right here was built through the dedication, a lot of hard work of many people to privately raise the funds to build this building, and with the help of the city of Grand Island, it became a reality about 12 years ago. From there, the grounds have grown, and now, of course, we are home to the Nebraska State Fair here in Grand Island. I was just totally amazed last year when I walked around to see all the skills, all the young people, all the things they did over here in all of these buildings. I was just totally amazed. I think there's probably over 100 events here now, and I think the gentleman said somewhere around 2,000 participants. And it's appropriate you're here this year because May 5th is the Kentucky Derby. The champions from horse racing go on to the Derby. The champions from this event are going to head up to Louisville in the latter part of June. So good luck to all of you. I hope our facilities here meet your needs. If you can do anything, please call on myself, any of the staff here. All of you are champions of work, and welcome back. Thank you.
SkillsUSA Nebraska appreciates all of the sponsors that support our organization. Today, we are proud to announce that the opening session is sponsored by Nebraska Medicine. Representing Nebraska Medicine is Mrs. Katie Beach. For over 14 years, Katie has led the development and execution of talent acquisition strategies across multiple industries. She started her career in recruitment and leadership consulting before transitioning to the manufacturing industry, where she spent 9 years developing international talent strategies. In 2015, she transitioned to healthcare, where she has successfully developed and operationalized the inaugural sourcing, recruiting, and onboard modeling. Katie received her bachelor's degree in mass communication with a concentration in public relation and advertising from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. In addition, Katie serves on the board of directors for multiple organizations, including SkillsUSA Nebraska, HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America, and the Industrial Distribution Program at the University of Nebraska, Kearney. Please welcome Mrs. Katie Beach.
Hi, thank you. I'm so happy to be here on behalf of Nebraska Medicine. So, over the course of my career, I've had the great privilege to work in many different industries, as you heard in my bio. Heavy equipment, manufacturing, and now healthcare. And what I absolutely love about SkillsUSA is every company, every industry I've worked in, SkillsUSA seamlessly fits into our talent strategy. And it's because of all of you. It's because of the skills that you learn, the lessons that you learn, and it's pretty amazing. So let's talk about healthcare for a second. So back in Omaha today, on Nebraska Medicine's campus, there are approximately 600 patients lying in patient beds, waiting and receiving extraordinary care. There are about 100 surgeries scheduled today. There will be about 200 patients admitted into our emergency department, and 2,500 patients will walk into one of our clinics. And that's not just today, that's every day. And in order to make extraordinary care happen, we need extraordinary talent. And that talent ranges from clinical to non-clinical. We have everything from doctors and nurses and pharmacists and CNAs, all the way to people who have to serve food and provide nutrition to these patients, equipment technicians who have to make sure that the equipment that saves lives every day is working. And the reality is, what we know is of all those numbers that are people that are walking into our facility or laying in those beds, many of them are there on what might be the worst day of their life because they're receiving a cancer diagnosis, or for the best day of their life, like they're having a baby. And we need people who can serve and take care of people on that wide spectrum. And you're those people. So we ask that as you continue your journey through Skills USA and learn all of the great lessons you'll learn, not only during this leadership conference, but throughout your experiences with Skills USA, that you think about Nebraska medicine, and for sure think about staying in Nebraska for your career. But we hire people all the way from marketing to technicians to nurses, you name it, we hire. So I want to wish you all the best over the next few days, and thank you again for having us. We're really proud to be a sponsor for Skills USA Nebraska.
Mrs. Beach, thank you and Nebraska Medicine for your support of Skills USA Nebraska.
This year, our state officer team thought of getting rid of the keynote speaker. I don't want to see any sleeping faces this time. But instead of that, our state officer team took a personal touch and put in our senior secondary officer stories. So here's mine. Let's start off with a quote. Nobody's perfect, you live and you work it, again and again till you get it right. Anyone know this song? In 2006, my year was changed. Hannah Montana came down to earth and changed Skills USA forever. But actually, it's a quote that I go by every single day. We'll put that on the backside for right now, but I'll make sure to come back to it later. When I was young, growing up, I spent a lot of time fixing stuff, breaking stuff, and getting rid of stuff. But fixing didn't really come into priority, as breaking was my key to the success of life. Trust me, my dad, who's in the audience somewhere, will tell you that I broke over half of his tools by the time I was 6 years old. He still owes me an apology for not giving me the tools I wanted. I'm telling you, Snap-on needs to sponsor my type of situation. But what we also have to see is that growing up, I always had a knack for engineering. Whether that be playing outside and fixing some tools, or even figuring out how to use the lawnmower. Growing up, engineering ran through my blood. But it put it on a backside when I grew up a little. Coming into high school, I wanted to be the basketball all-star. I started on my school's basketball team. I was great. I was averaging about 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 14 assists. I had a career in going into the varsity basketball team for the largest school in Nebraska. But come sophomore year, I injured myself and was sidelined for the rest of the year. And you know what? I was actually taken off the team the next year. I was approached by Skills USA in freshman year. But you know what I did to it? I threw it away. Greg Dunn, who's sitting right about there, knows about it. I told him, no way, I'm a basketball star. Oh, was I wrong? Skills USA changed my life forever when it came into sophomore year. They took me up with open arms and saw that he has potential. Engineering came back into my life. And coming into sophomore year, I wanted to go into extemporaneous speaking. I thought that I could win. How hard can it be to go up on stage and talk out on front of everyone? I was wrong again. You see a common trait? I'm always incorrect. Sophomore year, I'll put out a fact. I got 17th place. 17th out of 18. Good job, Dhruv. You really won. But I knew that the next year I could come back and win this situation. But I still hadn't introduced engineering into my life. While I was in school, I took a lot of engineering classes, thanks to Project Lead the Way. And from this, I grew out my experiences and started an engineering technology design team. My partners, Luke Jensen and Josh Bauman, are sitting out there in the audience, and we rocked our world. We got promised by 3 of our advisors, Greg Dunn, Dave Patton, and now Jeffrey Brady, that if we got first place at state, they would take us to nationals. Guess what? We got first place. I brought home that gold. And then I also brought home bronze in extemporaneous speaking. But what's even more shocking is that my advisors actually kept their promise. And I went to Louisville, Kentucky for the first time just last year. I got 9th place for my first time ever being at the national level. The students out there, thank your advisor. And thank all the industry partners out there. Because without them, you wouldn't be standing on this stage here today. For the ones in the future who will be standing right here getting that first, second, or third, it's all because of your advisor. If they weren't here in the first place, you wouldn't be anywhere. Coming back into my life, I turned into a state officer. What can I say? I just had good looks, you know? It definitely was the reason why I got elected. But besides that, I realized that state officership doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have good looks and just be a face of SkillsUSA. It comes with a sense of responsibility. Every single one of you chapter officer out there can relate with me. For you advisors, I definitely know what your situation is. You become a role model of what SkillsUSA really means. For us in the trade industry, we have the greatest opportunity. You know what your job placement rate is in the skills opportunity? 93%. That means out of every single 100 of you out there, 93 of you will have a job in the next year. Imagine that. The United States is the world's largest and growing technical advised industry. But what we also have to see is that SkillsUSA is the instigator of this situation. If we didn't have SkillsUSA as a platform, we wouldn't be successful as we are today. SkillsUSA is leading the pathway to every single person's life. And for me, I changed my degree. If you look at freshman year self of Dhruv, he would have said he wanted to become a doctor. Filling out that Asian stereotype, am I? But coming into senior year, I changed my mind. And now I'm becoming an engineer in biomedicine and shaping the world when it comes one step at a time. Going to New York City was my dream, and here we go. And the colleges selected me just because of SkillsUSA. I'm not the brightest student, nor am I the smartest student. But SkillsUSA on my resume shaped my future. And remember the Hannah Montana quote before I get off? And how nobody's perfect? Guess what? My name is Nobody.
Nobody's perfect. I gotta work it again and again till I get it right. Nobody's perfect. You're living, you're learning.
At this time, will the steering committee members please join us on stage when your name is called? Please enter from stage left. Audience, please hold your applause until all members of the committee are on stage. Beth Bartlett, CHI Health St. Francis Medical Center. Todd Inc., TC Inc. Builders Incorporated. Brett Forsman, Career Pathways Institute. Michaela Soundy, Grand Island Area Chamber. Marcy Kimnitz, Central Community College, Grand Island. Sydney Johnson, Grand Island Area Chamber. Brett Mellema, Grand Island Convention and Visitor Bureau. Dennis Harder, Chief Construction Company. Dan Phillips, Career Pathways Institute. Diane Willie, Fauner Park. Corey Combs, Nebraska Department of Education. SkillsUSA Steering Committee is a group of dedicated individuals that have invested a great amount of time to organize and plan this year's State Leadership Conference. These members have organized contest coordinators, contest materials, and seek out sponsorships that support this year's conference. If you'll please join me in giving them a round of applause. Corey Combs, will you please remain on stage? Everybody else but Corey. Although Corey has made it look like a walk in the park, coordinating and planning the 2018 SkillsUSA State Leadership Conference is not at all an easy task. Corey has done an incredible job, and we cannot thank her enough for her dedication to this organization. Corey, please accept this gift from the SkillsUSA State Officer team for all your hard work and dedication. Please give Corey a big round of applause.
How y'all doing out there today? The Professional Development Program, or PDP, prepares students for success in America's workforce. It is based on employability skills that are determined and demanded by businesses and industrials. There are 5 levels of PDP that can be attended by individual students or in group settings. The first level is completing the Mid-America Conference, as it is a part of the requirements to receive the prestigious state award. At the conference, the members that have completed level 1 training degrees are listed on page number 39 of your conference program. Students that have completed level 2, the level degree, and the level 3 professional are listed on page number 40 of their conference program. Please join me in a round of applause for those members that are attending those honorable accomplishments.
Where do I begin with my SkillsUSA story? I wish I had enough time to talk about every single little experience I've had in SkillsUSA, but I neither have the time nor the memory that allows me to recall such, so I'll try my best to tell the moments that best represent my SkillsUSA story. My story began in 7th grade and 8th grade, but both years were short-lived. I had only joined for 3 months before my lack of determination and passion had kicked in and forced me to miss such a great opportunity. Luckily, though, when I moved up to high school, I rejoined SkillsUSA, but this time it was different. I had someone who held me accountable, who wouldn't let me stray from what SkillsUSA had planned for me. But even then, my motives were still impure. My motives were just to join SkillsUSA, to have something on my resume, and to get a couple of days off school. But my expectation of SkillsUSA and the true reality of it were on 2 ends of the spectrum. SkillsUSA would come to surprise me in so many ways. It surprised me in how much it had to offer, and it again surprised me in what it could teach me. Through my first year in my local chapter, I grew to love the organization, but it didn't start off so well during my first year. I wasn't the best member. I barely paid attention, and I just kind of showed up. But what caused my attitude to change was when I got to state. It was eye-opening. It came to surprise me how enormous and well-run a conference could be. And the most unique part was it was all made for a bunch of high schoolers. State that year surprised me in so many ways. And as I came back for that sophomore year, my advisor had seen some sort of potential in me. I still can't see it to myself in this day. But he said I had the potential to become a state officer. Truly at the time, though, I didn't know what that meant to be a state officer. I really didn't think much of it, so I just went on, going to meetings and things, but I was still far from being a perfect member. But I remember an important moment in my life. That February, my advisor handed me some papers to sign, and I was freaking out when I first read these papers. What I was signing scared me to death with the amount of dedication they required. But on top of these papers, in bold 24 text, they wrote, "State Officer Candidate Application." My first reaction was just to pretend that they didn't exist, but that didn't work. Before I knew it, it had spread like wildfire. Everywhere I looked, I saw an application. And as they spread, my plan slowly crumbled because as we got closer and closer to state, the papers became more real. But I was still scared to death. But my advisor still had full faith in me and would even come to pull out his greatest trick, the voluntold trick. Around my school, we call it the Roger Campbell voluntold trick. It's the most powerful move an advisor can make. It consists a lot of magic, but what would happen when such a powerful move is played is that any wishes of the advisor is made into reality. But through some magic, I became a state officer candidate. But it was less than smooth sailing. The first bump hit when I was only weeks out. I found out that I had to speak in front of the whole delegation. My gut felt like it was going to drop the entire bus right there. And as I was giving that speech, I thought I was going to die. Looking at those 100 random faces and sharing my passion and my reason for being up there became one of the scariest things that I've ever done in my life. But the scariest part came when my speech ended. I realized right there and then there was a whole other night. Boy, was I frightened by that thought alone. But that evening, I contemplated running away and never coming back. But I was glad I didn't do so, because one of the best gifts I've received in my life has been my state officership. Through my state officership, it only further escalated my love for SkillsUSA. It gave me such a unique experience in those that I've had in traveling the state to attend different conferences, or the people I've met. And through SkillsUSA within the last two years, I've grown so much in my life. It has developed my leadership skill, speaking abilities, and just opened me up to professionalism. The real surprise to me is the amount of opportunity that SkillsUSA can provide. See, the question I want to emphasize on is don't ask about what SkillsUSA can do for you, but rather, are you ready for all that SkillsUSA can provide? See, I once was scared to open myself up and allow myself to grow. I was afraid of change, and it took me a while before I realized how important it is to truly take opportunities given to you. It took a lot before I took the opportunity given to me by SkillsUSA, but I hope for all of you to be much wiser than me and take those opportunities given to you, either by SkillsUSA or any other part of your life. Take hold of what has been set in front of you. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm honored to have been your vice president.
The Academic Achievement Award is entitled to students who have attained a grade point average of 3.5 or higher throughout the school year. Education is key in any career field, but is especially important in the SkillsUSA framework. Technical skills grounded in academics is one of the three components. Personal and workplace skills also arrive from a good education. It is important for all of our members to strive to achieve this award. The names of the students who have achieved this award are listed on pages 33 through 37 of the conference program. Let's congratulate them on this hard-earned honor.
SkillsUSA is more than just our state and national conference. Our students are actively involved in volunteering, competition, and education. Our education of SkillsUSA comes through our conferences, such as Fall Leadership, Mid-America, and here, the State Leadership Conference in Grand Island. The Distinguished Ambassador Award is given to the dedicated SkillsUSA Nebraska members and advisors. These leaders of our organization exemplify what a role model SkillsUSA member should be looking like. As I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Your award pins are located in your conference packet. The recipients' names will also appear on the screen and in your conference pamphlet on page 38. Benson High School, Samantha Carter, Hasartha Aku, Nicole McMorrow. Career Pathways Institute, Andrew Akala, Noah Campbell, Carson Dolland, Jesus Fuentes Espinoza, Joaquin Leal, Freddie Navas, Danny Olveiras, Annie Pham, Pernath Rial. Hastings High School, Davis Turpin. Louisville High School, Ryan Campbell, Julian Covington, Joey Gruber, Ethan Mikulski, Max Yarnell, Jason Wilhelm. Miller North High School, Dhruv Singh. North Platte High School, Carter Davidson, Carly Fudge, Mia Hilber-Hansmeyer, Sarah Ferris, Hannah Rosenott, Destiny Rundquist, Johnny Seri. Omaha North Magnet High School, Taylor Seberg, Trey Smith. Papillion La Vista South High School, Gracie Davis, Peter Wynn, McKenna Rowe. Plattsmouth High School, JoJo Burke. Raymond Central, Duke Nelson. Scottsbluff High School, Tanner Burr, Cameron Xaviera, Ariana Fry, Cody Hagan. Sterling High School, Daniel Schwaneker, Madison Smith, Risa Wilcox. Waverly High School, Tristan Groff, Francis Hovlogic, Donovan Kirby, Adam Razy, Evan Riley, Clay Riley, Alex Rybick, Barrett Skarbecki.
To think that this will be my last opening ceremony is actually mind-blowing. I remember each year looking up at the officers, looking at the pictures on the slideshows, and talking with my best friends with gleaming eyes. To be here talking to you right now is an amazing opportunity that my freshman self probably would have fainted at. When I started SkillsUSA, I really didn't know what to expect. So I built a bridge and competed at a middle school conference. What I didn't know then, besides how big our bridges were supposed to be, was how much of an impact this organization would have on my life. I've made lifelong connections and gained a variety of skills. My love for SkillsUSA bloomed at the Mid-America Conference my freshman year. To this day, that conference is my favorite, and I recommend it to each and every one of you. I remember getting our name tags, which revealed our color chapter, and created the lifelong nickname of Grukeber. I was scared and excited beyond belief at what the conference would entail. I remember not knowing a single thing and being petrified that I would have to speak in front of others. This conference forced me to memorize every aspect of SkillsUSA, which was actually so much fun. It was this conference where I saw what SkillsUSA really was, from competitions to the emblem to friendships that I still have today. When I experienced the state conference for the first time, I remember the fancy lights and the officers being absolutely mesmerized. My SkillsUSA dream has always been to go to nationals since it was in Kansas City. This dream came true my junior year when I conveyed my passion for jump into STEM. Walking around Louisville, Kentucky, seeing students just as passionate for our organization and for their careers was breathtaking. As I continued through SkillsUSA, I've had the opportunity to be a Mid-America officer, chapter officer, and most significantly, a state officer. With Jesse Zweep as my advisor, who I cannot thank enough for absolutely everything, and the 2 state officers from my school, I've always had a sneak peek of what it was like to be a state officer. But this year, it was revealed to me just how truly amazing it is. From speaking in front of hundreds as I am right now to campaigning the importance of career technical education, this organization has by far been the best aspect of my high school career in so many ways, and will continue to allow me to prosper in my future. If you ask any of my friends about how I feel about SkillsUSA, they will probably roll their eyes and tell you don't ask. This is because I love this organization with all of my heart and advocate for it whenever possible. I even keep the SkillsUSA pocket guide in my purse and take it wherever I go. This is a great symbol for how I take SkillsUSA wherever I go in the future, along with my SkillsUSA coasters, SkillsUSA lip balm, and of course, a SkillsUSA water bottle. I cannot put into words how much this organization means to me, and as I write this, I couldn't even think of clever enough words that met the standards of SkillsUSA. As I watch my SkillsUSA career end, I am very sad, but I will never forget these experiences and the wonderful individuals I have met. Thank you to everyone who have influenced me over the past 6 years, and I wish all of you the best in your competitions over the next few days. Thank you.
SkillsUSA members, you have been blessed with one of the greatest opportunities in the world. You are here at the SkillsUSA Nebraska State Conference. For many of you, this will be a pivotal moment in your educational career. You being here would not be possible without your awesome advisors. Without your advisors, who would motivate the students? Who would help us find our niche in this world? And who would push us outside of our comfort zone closer to new experiences? But it's more than that. Advisors, you craft the future of this great state one student at a time. If we can have all the advisors please rise and be recognized. Unfortunately for us, some of these wonderful advisors have reached a milestone in their careers. With Bill Kalblinger from North Platte High School, Chris Sahlberg from Sterling High School, Don Simpson from Lincoln High School, and Dan Zabel from Southeast Community College, please come onto the stage. These 4 Skills USA advisors have dedicated their careers to helping the students of our state reach their career goals. You will be sincerely missed, and you will always be remembered for your devotion to Skills USA Nebraska. Thank you.
Would last year's Advisor of the Year, Jay Portnier, please come to the stage to help present this year's award. Skills USA members, know that our advisors are essential to all chapter activities. Our advisors also prepare us for our lives outside of the organization. We would like to recognize this year's Advisor of the Year for his outstanding work within his chapter and within the organization as a whole. Our awardee from the past year, Jay Portnier, will help by presenting this year's winner.
Got a lot of tape on this. This year's Advisor of the Year is Larry Kloss from Bennington High School. Please come to the stage and accept your award. And I hope you're not sitting up in the nosebleed section like I was last year.
Advisors, thanks again for all you do for your chapters and our organization.
A major problem Nebraska is facing is the need for good quality teachers, especially in skilled and technical sciences. With having said that, I would like to invite Mr. Eric Knoll to the stage. Mr. Knoll retired from Lincoln Public Schools after 31 years of service. Eric is currently working in a split position between the Nebraska Department of Education and the University of Nebraska. At the Nebraska Department of Education, Eric is a career field specialist, working with skilled and technical science teachers. At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Eric is an assistant professor of practice, heading up the STS teaching program. Please welcome Mr. Knoll.
Well, good afternoon. You know, my career, my future, and really my passion was impacted by a teacher over 45 years ago. And I know many of you out there right now are in that same situation today, where you're being impacted by a teacher that is investing in you. It's amazing, though, as I go around and I speak to students all across the state, there's so many of you, juniors and seniors, that I talk to that have never even considered teaching as a possible career. And it is an excellent career. You know, as you look around at your instructors, your advisors that are here with you, there are 440 of those in our state. And the average age of those 440 teachers is approaching 50 years old. You know, there are 15 to 20 teachers a year that are retiring. And as a result of that, we have a great challenge. And that challenge is when a teacher retires and there's no one to fill that position, the opportunities that you're experiencing here at this conference aren't there for the students that follow. And so we have a real crisis. But in that crisis, we have a great opportunity, because you have an opportunity, those of you that might be interested in teaching, to have a career that can last a lifetime. Now, instead of me talking about that, I wanted to invite two future teachers that were in your seat not too many years ago. Kylie Dodson from the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, and Devin Rupp, who's at Wayne State. Come on up, and I'll let them tell you about why they want to be a teacher.
Okay, like Eric said, my name is Kylie Dotson. I was asked to talk to you guys today about why I wanted to be an STS teacher. It's probably because I really want to chaperone high school dances to learn new cool dance moves. Okay, yeah, I guess that was pretty bad. I actually didn't know that this is what I wanted to be doing for the rest of my life. Whether I knew it or not, it was kind of inevitable for me, the path that I took growing up and the decisions I made. Growing up, I was a little kid that was always designing things, making things, building things, wondering why things worked, tearing them apart, and then not really getting them put back together. I had a few spare parts left over, but I just figured I was a pretty efficient child. In high school, I took every STS class that I could. I was really involved in SkillsUSA and competed nationally 4 times. The experiences that I got there, not a lot of people get in a lifetime. After I graduated high school, I went to SEC Milford, and it was probably one of the better decisions I've made in my life. The people there thought a lot like I did. They had the same ideals, the people who wanted to figure things out for themselves. There were people in the parking lot working on their vehicles, like working on my vehicle a lot. There were people in the dorm rooms building computers, designing things for other people, just builders, thinkers, doers, and I was really glad to call a lot of them my friends. And the teachers at SCC Milford were the type of people that would stop on a dime to help you in any way possible. And that's probably a huge reason why I am here today. I liked it so much that I went there twice. I have 2 degrees, one in manufacturing engineering technology, and the second in precision machining and automation technology. I got to be a part of things way bigger than I'm doing right now. After my first degree, I started working in a manufacturing facility called TMCO in Lincoln, Nebraska. I get to help out with things like metal artwork that they put around Lincoln, all the way to class parts that you put in combines. And to name drop a little bit, we do some exhaust tips and sprockets for Harley-Davidson. It's awesome to say that I get to be a part of all that. But after working at a place for 4 years, you learn really quick what you're looking for in life. Yeah, designing those things is awesome, and I could do that the rest of my life. But for me, I wanted something more than that. I wanted to do this. I wanted to be that teacher that you guys just recognized a little bit ago. I want to make a difference. And as an STS teacher, you get to do the best of the both worlds. You get to teach what you love to do every single day, and you have the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life every single day you walk in that door. So to me, that's what it's all about. Once I started job shadowing, I knew that this was it. This was the career for me. This is where I wanted to live, this is where I wanted to die, and this is where I wanted to retire. Maybe not all in that order, but I'm really excited to be an STS teacher. So if you think that you might be interested, I'd suggest coming and sitting into this meeting. Or if you see Devin and I somewhere throughout the competitions within the next few days, stop and talk to us, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. So good luck to all of you and all of your competitions, and thank you for your time.
My name is Devin Roop. I'm a graduate of Millard North High School. I don't have the typical Skills USA upbringing. If you asked me what I wanted to do a year ago, I would have said I want to be a personal trainer. At that time, I was 3 classes away from graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Exercise Science from Wayne State. But I figured that isn't really what I wanted to do. So I talked to my brother-in-law, who is the ITE teacher at Grand Island Northwest, Scott Gibson, and I talked to my wrestling coach, Greg Vanderweel, who is also the teacher education advisor up at Wayne State. And I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I like the drafting. I want to get into teacher education in STS. I want to be a drafting teacher, architectural, residential, everything. So starting this last fall was my first time taking a lot of these classes, but I picked them up. I really liked what I did. Going into this, being an STS teacher, seeing the look on kids' faces when they're being creative, they're designing robots, they're drafting out their dream house, or they're coming up with a business plan to be a construction management. Seeing the kids do all this, it puts a smile on your face, watching them actually enjoying what they're doing. I want to get into this not just because of the kids who want to pursue only this. You can be a regular person at home and all of a sudden you have a kid that puts a hole in the wall. Every person should be able to patch up some drywall, be able to work on their car a little bit to save thousands of dollars. Being the STS teacher, I'll get to see all kinds of these kids that'll grow up into these families and watching them succeed in life, not only in their careers, but just as a person in whole. Skills USA will help them to do all this. Skills USA, the STS, all of these classes. And I just look forward to seeing this. I really do. I'm not a very good speaker. But I just want to say good luck to all of you guys, all of you competing in construction and drafting and CO2 race cars. Everything you do here, you'll be able to take a little bit of it further in life. And I just wish the best of luck to all of you.
So if you're sitting out there and you're thinking, you know, maybe that's something I need to consider, we want to invite you to a reception tomorrow night, 5 o'clock. We'll meet right over here in room 1 in the Bosselman Conference Center. And we want to have just an informal presentation, talk to you about this career, give you just a little more information, and encourage you to consider a career that can last a lifetime and fulfill a lot of those desires that these two just mentioned. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Knoll and your team, for all your hard work toward recruiting and developing new teachers in Nebraska. Please accept these small gifts as a token of our appreciation.
The Board of Directors is the governing body of SkillsUSA Nebraska. The board meets 3 times a year, and together they make the decisions that ensure our organization is headed for success. The board is made up of education representative, administrative representatives, business and industry representatives, high school and post-secondary state officer representative, and a state officer advisor representative. Now we would like each member of the SkillsUSA Nebraska board to rise as I call your name. Please hold your applause until each member of the board has been recognized. The state officers and advisors representatives are Ryan Campbell from Louisville High School, Payne Schmidt from Southeast Community College Milford, Reginald Dawson from Metro Community College, Jesse Sweep from Louisville High School. The school administrative representatives include Sean Scott, Superintendent of Adams Central Schools, Bill Heisman, Campus President of Central Community College in Hastings. The educational representatives include Roger Campbell, Papillion La Vista South High School, Leon Fennessy, Central Community College in Columbus, Greg Dunn, Millard North High School, Ed Mills, Blair High School, Jason Novotny, Gretna High School, Matt Hurt, Hastings High School, Mabel Galusha, the Career Academy in Lincoln, Dan Zabel, Southeast Community College in Lincoln. The business and industry representatives include Todd Inc., TC Inc. Builders Incorporated, Ben Gano, NMC, KD Beach, Nebraska Medicine, Scott Hagg, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Josh Dixon, Valmont. Thank you for all your service to SkillsUSA Nebraska.
Hey, I'm Duke Nelson, and I'm the Goldilocks legend, and I'm this year's state parliamentarian. Now, way back, before the hair, I joined SkillsUSA in the 8th grade, when all my teachers were telling me that you need to have a good idea of what you want to do for the rest of your life. Me as an 8th grader, that turned my world upside down, as I was in a frantic search to find out what I truly loved to do. I was currently in FFA, where my family originally pushed me. It never really clicked for me, and I never really fit in. That's when my advisor, Mr. Harrington, introduced me to SkillsUSA, where I could really be myself. As an 8th grader, I saw SkillsUSA as a huge opportunity for me to really figure out what I like to do, which I found when I started with bridge building in middle school. But as I grew older and the hair grew longer, I was ready for bigger things, bigger than a little 300-millimeter bridge. Once again, I was in that frantic search. I still loved building with my hands, and that's why one of the opportunities that I saw was carpentry. Even though my only experience with carpentry was building little sheds on the farm for pigs, I gave it a shot anyway, and I just went with it. After just winging it, I began to truly love carpentry because it was my way of building what I wanted to do on my own. I can remember way back to freshman year when I first met Tyler Lonstein, a past state officer campaigning for office. And I thought to myself, how could a high school senior walk around like that and just talk to anybody? That was the first chance that I saw what it truly took to be a state officer. Later, he was then elected, and sitting in the crowd, I couldn't believe how those officers were able to be up on that stage in front of all these people and be so confident. Now, to understand me a little bit more, I've never been one that's not willing to push myself out of my comfort zone. And when my mom first brought up the idea of me trying out for a state office position, I was originally all for it. After I turned in my application and my advisor and I were talking about it, Mr. Harrington asked me if I was ready to cut my hair. I immediately began to freak out. But turns out, after looking a little closer, and despite Greg Stair's opinion, I didn't have to cut my hair. And that was a huge weight off my shoulders. After I got over that and all the other little nerves, I was ready. Going into the delegate meeting, my master plan, just go with it. Not hoping for an actual position, it was all right. After each meeting, Mr. Harrington and I would sit down in our hotel rooms and play video games, and he would ask how each meeting went. All I could do is explain how many different and amazing personalities there were running for these 7 positions. Now, being one of the lucky 7 voted to a position has made this past year of my high school career the best one yet. Not only because I'm a senior and it's almost over, but because I've been able to go to all these conferences like FLC and Mid-America that my school normally doesn't get to go to. I was even able to be a national delegate, which blew my mind how this love for SkillsUSA is so far across the country. My passion for SkillsUSA has grown so much, and I can't thank everyone enough for giving me the opportunity to improve myself as a person and have such an amazing experience with the rest of my officer team. And I was even able to stay golden, Pony Boy. Build your own story and be proud of it.
Would a representative from Bennington High School, Omaha Benson High School, Millard North High School, and Metropolitan Community College please come to the stage? The Chapter Excellence Award is a nationally recognized award that honors chapter achievements that are relative to the SkillsUSA framework. The framework focuses on developing personal skills, workplace skills, and technical skills grounded in academics. The framework outlines our SkillsUSA mission: to empower members to become world-class workers, leaders, and responsible American citizens. Bennington High School, Omaha Benson High School, Millard North High School, and Metropolitan Community College have achieved quality chapter level. In addition, Omaha Benson High School and Millard North High School have earned the Chapter of Distinguish Silver level. We encourage all chapters to research the qualifications for this award on the national website and make it a goal for the coming year.
SkillsUSA Nebraska recognizes individuals that give service above and beyond the normal call to duty with the Dedicated Service Award. This year, we are recognizing 2 deserving individuals that have worked extremely hard to ensure that SkillsUSA Nebraska is a success. Both of these individuals have generously given their time, never expecting anything in return. Would Mr. Wayne Cross and Mr. George Woolstrom please come to the stage? After graduating from Arthur County High School and Kearney State College, Mr. Cross started teaching skilled and technical sciences, at the time called industrial arts, in 1969. Mr. Cross taught at Benedict and Barnston Public Schools before starting a 32-year stint at Madison Public Schools. He started the SkillsUSA chapter at Madison in 1992. From 2005 to 2010, Mr. Cross taught at Northeast Community College. In 2006, Mr. Cross started judging SkillsUSA competitions in technical drafting and later in cabinet making and power equipment technology. In 2013, Mr. Cross became the Power Equipment Technology Coordinator, a position that he still holds today. Our next Dedicated Service Award recipient is Mr. George Woolstrom. Mr. Woolstrom graduated college with an education degree, and he taught high school chemistry, physics, and math for 4 years. During that time, George started to work on another degree, received his master's degree in civil engineering, and worked for the Department of Roads as a civil engineer until his retirement several years back. In the early 1980s, his wife Helen became interested in parliamentary procedure and Robert's Rule of Order and how that process worked. She talked George into learning more about it with her, and they both became registered parliamentarians in 1983. For 20 plus years, George and Helen were the Nebraska people to go for questions and training in Robert's Rule of Order. They have judged parliamentary procedure competitions for all of the Nebraska CTSOs and at their state conferences. They have been judging the SkillsUSA Chapter Business Procedure Competition for many, many years, and we appreciate George's service to this organization. Since losing Helen to an illness several years ago, George keeps busy on his acreage, reading, gardening, and building things, and is an officer for the Nebraska State Association of Parliamentarians. Thank you, Mr. Cross and Mr. Woolstrom, for your dedicated service to SkillsUSA Nebraska.
Coming into our next award, can I have a chapter representative and advisor please come up to the stage? Seward High School, Adams Central High School, Northeast Community College, Metropolitan Community College. Our next award is one of the most prestigious and one of the hardest awards to achieve as a chapter. As a state officer team, we set one of our SMART goals to increase state membership by over 50 students. Last year, our state organization had over 2,674, which was over our highest membership till that date. This year, our organization broke that record once again, with over 2,785 members. But without the involvement of all the schools in actively recruiting new members, SkillsUSA Nebraska would not be as big as it is today. These schools on stage exemplify the ability of a chapter to motivate students to join and become active SkillsUSA members. These schools are examples of excellent leadership ingenious public relations, and connections within the school and community. I am proud to announce that Seward High School and Adams Central High School are the winners of the High School Builders Award. Northeast Community College and Metropolitan Community College are recipients of the Post-Secondary Builders Award. Please give a round for their dedication to SkillsUSA Nebraska.
Early last year, our state officer team set the SMART goal to add 4 new chapters to the SkillsUSA Nebraska organization. I am happy to announce that over the course of the year, we have obtained 9 new chapters. Would the advisors and 1 student member from the new chapters please come to the stage to accept your charter? College post-secondary, we have Western Community College advisors Bill Loring and Russ Pontarolo, and Central Community College Grand Island advisor Randy Johnson. From high school, North Bend advisor Roy Wright. Hershey advisor Michael Jorgensen. Homer advisor Bill Chase. Takema Herman advisor Mitch Sapp. Harvard advisor Stephanie Dedamore. Norfolk advisor Dale Cohn. Lincoln Northeast advisor Bonnie Rail. Congratulations to all of these schools and welcome to the SkillsUSA Nebraska family.
Gonna put on my thinking cap here. Alrighty, before I start, I have a little phrase I need you all to remember, all right? 3-word phrase, very simple. The phrase is, make Dad proud. That's simple. Alrighty, as you all know, well, hopefully know by now, I am Ryan Campbell, a senior from Louisville High School, and this year's president of the SkillsUSA Nebraska State Officer Team. And this is actually my 3rd consecutive year serving on the State Officer Team, and all I have to say is the experience has been extremely beneficial in the development of me as a student and a professional. And getting to witness all the work and planning that goes into these conferences is mind-blowing. And knowing that I'm getting the opportunity to be a symbol of success for this organization is even more so. But despite all these great things, these are not the reasons why I ran for state office. My reason to run is a bit simpler, but it comes straight from the heart. My first Skills USA experience came when I was very young. I got the opportunity to attend the Skills USA National Conference with my dad and his chapter's champions. I did this several times over the years, in fact, all the way up until I was a freshman in high school. And I remember when I was younger, one of the most fun things I got to do at the national conference was attend Texpo. And for those who don't know, every year at the national conference, there's an area reserved for sponsors and vendors. And in this area, each vendor sets up certain challenges or activities that Skills USA members participate in. And these activities could be anything from who could hammer in 6 nails in a plank the fastest, or one of my personal favorites, putt-putt golf with channel lock pliers. All these crazy fun activities. And if you did relatively good in any of these activities, you'd get a bunch of free stuff from the vendors. And it seemed like every year we came home with a free tool of some sort or a bunch of free t-shirts. Literally my entire wardrobe through middle school and elementary consisted of Milwaukee, Snap-on, and Bosch t-shirts. But anyway, on the other hand, despite all that, as I began to mature through the years, I started to see what this conference and this organization was all about, and why my dad was such an advocate for it. Witnessing how much this organization mattered to his students, and especially him, seeing the joy and happiness on his face as he watched his students succeed. Why did all this want to make me run? I decided to run because I wanted to make Dad proud. It's that simple. I believe my primary function as a son of a loving father is to make my dad proud. That is probably the only reason I have done any of this, was because of those 3 simple words: make Dad proud. Those 3 words are my main motivation for everything I do. Whether that be skills, school, hunting, and fishing, the phrase that motivates me the most through anything I do is make Dad proud. To me, this phrase is everything. It is why I'm standing on this stage today bearing my blazer. It is why I get up at dark 30 to freeze my butt off in the deer stand. It is the driving force behind many aspects of my life. Because to me, there's nothing more satisfying than hearing "I'm proud of you, son," from the one I look up to the most, my dad. And Dad, I just want to say, thanks for being there for me through it all, for pushing me to be better, and for teaching me everything I know. I love you. Thanks for hearing into my little speech, and it has been an honor to serve as your state president. Good luck to you in all of your competitions. Have a great one.
SkillsUSA Nebraska. Fortunate to have tremendous partners that believe in our students, teachers, and the mission of our organization. Without their support, this conference would not be possible. At this time, we would like to recognize some of our top partners.
This year's gold level partners are Nebraska Medicine and NMC.
Our silver level partners include Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, Lowe's Truck Center Companies, Lazier, TransCanada, and Valmont.
Bronze level partners are Conductix Wampler, Southeast Community College, Northeast Community College, Central Community College, Chief Industries, and the Nebraska National Guard.
Besides financial support, there are various ways in which our partners contribute to our organization. They supply material, tools, machines for competition prizes, for our champion medals, and also to contribute their times and energy in coordinating and judging contests. Please direct your attention to the screen as we recognize all of our partners.
Let's give our sponsors another round of applause. Let's hear it.
Over the next 3 days, there are a few rules we all need to play by. Look inside the program on page 44 or the rules section of the conference app to follow.
No alcoholic beverages or narcotics are to be used at any time. Tobacco is prohibited.
Please wear your name badge at all times. When you go into your competition, make sure the number on the back of your badge is showing instead of your name.
Guys and gals should not be in the same sleeping room unless your advisor is present or the door is fully propped open.
Lastly, do not run around and squeal in the hotel halls. It is not a barn.
Please remember, you represent SkillsUSA, so please do so in the best manner.
Before we recess, I will list a few reminders. Remember, to receive your award on Saturday morning, you must be in the official SkillsUSA dress, business-like attire, or National SkillsUSA competition clothing, as noted in the technical standards. Check-in for Metric 500 will be tonight at 5 at the contest site. Check-in for Mousetrap vehicle will be at 5:30 tonight, also at the contest site. On Friday, bridge building check-in will be at 8 to 10. And if you have obtained any extra t-shirts, please turn them into the registration office located just outside the arena. Also, please download the free conference app mentioned earlier. This app will be an essential tool for all members throughout the conference. Follow our social media accounts on Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram. Use the hashtag NEBSkillsUSA to share all your favorite memories during the conference. I now declare the opening session of the 2018 SkillsUSA Nebraska State Leadership and Skills Conference in recess.